What's going on, wonderful people? Thank you for stopping by. You got Stercules here with the first round of the NPDL playoffs, and we'll show you who I'm matching up with here in a sec. Let's just look at the team real quick. This is Season 7 playoffs. We made it as the 8th seed. As you can see right there, it was a very tight matchup here in the middle. I think out of the 7 seasons of playoffs, I think I've made it 5 times. It's either 4 or 5. I think it's 5. Not that it matters, because as someone pointed out, every year I've gotten bounced in the first round of the playoffs, other than Season 2 when I somehow made the championship. So we want to end that today. We want to end that getting bounced in the first round streak. And as you can see, that means we're playing Henrik and the Washington Alakazams. We gave him his only loss of the season, but I was not excited to have to play him twice in a row. Real quick look at my team. I don't know if playoff stats affect the overall stats, but it's cool to see Cinderace got 13 kills with only 5 deaths. Terrakion got 10 kills. And from there, it was, just kind of spread out. I was happy to see that everything on the team came at least twice. Felt like everyone played a big role for the Utah Copperajazz this year. So I was very proud of the squad. It was a really fun team to use. A lot of new mons that I hadn't used before, which is always really fun. But yeah, happy with how things went. Made playoffs despite a lot of really close losses. Just a quick season recap. We started off with an 0-3 loss to Noah and his Peoria Razor Shell. Then Connor, aka Spider Pig, we had a close win with. We had a pretty strong win over Bindolin, which was still a really tough match. And then 2 straight really close matches where I felt like I could have potentially won the end game. Against Alec and Magnus, who are both great battlers and who both had better seasons than me, so I was excited that I even played them close. Though Magnus, I did get a lot of hacks in my favor to even be that close. Had a good win over Gold Sound. Got smeared by Ball, like usual. Good win over Cooper, only the second time I'd beaten him. Close loss to Cole. That's a broken record. Me losing a close game to Cole happens pretty much every time. And then my first ever win over Henrik, so I took that as a good season. We broke even. Obviously, I'd like to be up here at the top with the beasts of the year, but we were just happy to make playoffs. So we're gonna look at Henrik's team real quick. He's got the same squad. This was past the free agency mark, so he's got his Alakazam and Heracross to worry about offensively. He's got that really scary defensive core of Melodic, Dragalge, Aromatisse, Steelix, and really Dragalge is scary defensively because of its stats, but it hits really hard with adaptability too. Then Talonflame was scary, Lipard, Rotom, and Type Null. Once again, if Type Null came, it was going to be a problem because I didn't have a whole lot of prep in for it or Lipard. Felt like everything else I had some prep in for at least. But it's hard to truly prep for Henrik because the man brings some really cool sets, and he's really good about using Mons in very unique ways that a lot of times you don't prep or calc for in-game. So here's my squad. Had Cinderace with the heavy-duty boots, max HP just to make sure that we're living most hits, other than like a super effective big-time hit. But 116 attack with a plus attack nature still has us hitting really hard with Pyro Balls, and Sucker Punch is still really nice, especially for Alakazam. Have a feeling that he's going to be running Colbur Berry on Alakazam, but still something I need to run with how fast that thing is. And then 144 speed to outspeed everything Rotom and down. So we're still slower than Talonflame and Alakazam. Taunt, just to try to shut his big threats down from getting much recovery like Wishes or Recover, trying to keep hazards from coming down. And then Super Fang for things like Melodic, Dragalge, Steelix, who are hard to get a lot of damage on. That can be helpful, taking half their health away. Garbodor, which I'm so mad at myself. For the Mons, I forgot their nicknames. I never do that. So I'm sorry, Dodger Rabbit. I'm sorry, Trash Ketchum, for forgetting your name. Had the Iron Ball, which slows it down, but basically that was for Fling to hit a potential Rotom really hard if that was his defogger again. So wanted to get up layers of spikes again. Pain Split was really useful last time. Gunk Shot hits most of his team, and then Fling really can't do anything to Steelix or Dragalge, but this is more just to take hits anyway. Probably wasn't my best set. I had Frost and Powers, the Rotom Frost. I actually remembered his nickname with heavy duty boots. 2 heavy duty boots users because I expected him to get hazards up this time. I think that's a lot of what helped me pull off the win last time, is because I could pivot around so much without having to be punished for it. So the way I'm punished this time is having 2 heavy duty boots mons so that these 2 aren't taking super effective stealth rock damage. Just so that I can stay alive longer, and that does keep me from, putting an item that can restore health or give a little more damage output out. But we're running Thunderbolt, Blizzard, Will-O-Wisp, and Volt Switch. Obviously, Thunderbolt and Volt Switch are really important for wearing down something like Melodic and even Talonflame. Blizzard is just for what Thunderbolt doesn't hit, so it hits Steelix pretty hard and it hits Dragalge hard. And then Will-O-Wisp is once again prep for Steelix because I just don't have a whole lot of switch-ins for Steelix, so getting it burnt was a pretty high priority. We had Choice Scarf, Terrakion, Caldrogo, and not only did I forget a lot of nicknames, I forgot to make a lot of them shiny. Hydreigon, Terrakion, and Garbodor. Those are 3 shinies I love, so big bummer, but put a little bit of HP in there, just enough speed without a plus speed nature to outspeed his entire team outside of Talonflame and Alakazam. And with Choice Scarf, we'd outspeed everything. Was pretty sure Zam wouldn't be Scarfed. And I was pretty sure that Talonflame also wouldn't be Scarfed because if he's keeping rocks off the field, it potentially had Gale Wings to outspeed anyway. So close combat and Rock Blast are going to hit most of his teams. The Rock Blast, instead of something like Rock Slide or Stone Edge, was basically for if something like Alakazam tried to set up a sub and start Calm Minding with something that really tore through my team. So Rock Blast would have, if he's an offensive Zam, would still take it out. Then Earthquake, just to hit things like Dragalge, to hit things like Steelix, and then Poison Jab for if late game I needed to hit Aromatisse. Hydreigon with Life Orb. This was if late game Scarf Track wasn't my way to win. This was going to be my way to win with Life Orb and obviously Levitate, but Adamant Max Attack Nature with Crunch, Earthquake, Head Smash, and Dragon Dance. And first off, before I finish out, props to Cole and Sorbs for the help with putting the sets together. So it's one of the fun things of having a community in Pokemon, having friends you can build with to help each other build some cool sets. So if you're new into battling, I would definitely recommend never feeling bad about asking someone to help out a little bit. So some of these sets that were helpful were really helpful because I was able to get some really good advice. But Crunch, Earthquake, Head Smash, and Dragon Dance. The Head Smash may seem a little weird, especially a lot of times you would maybe want to run some sort of steel move to hit Aromatisse. But Head Smash with a Dragon Dance, if it was especially defensive, Aromatisse would have killed. And even physically defensive did a lot. And then Head Smash was optimal because it would still hit Melodic for a lot of damage too, whereas you can see my other moves probably weren't doing a whole lot. Does have that miss chance, but sometimes you got to run with that. And the Recoil plus Life Orb can be pretty tough too. So Blaster Uruguay, I ran Choice Specs, Water Spout, Ice Beam, Surf, and Flip Turn. Pretty straightforward. Needed it to hit hard. And those 2 types pretty much hit everything on his team. A lot of HP to be able to take some hits as well. All right, let's get some coverage of this battle. I tried doing it with the video and it wasn't working, so we are going to go without video, just audio of my analysis of the battle, and we can see how it goes. I've got it on really slow battle speed just because when I keep trying to do this, it just keeps getting very laggy, so I'm hoping if I do that and don't pause it, that hopefully things will go a little more cleanly and you'll be able to see more of the battle animations. So we're seeing he did not bring Milotic, which I am very excited about. I don't know if that necessarily makes the match easier, but it does make it less stressful. If anything, it makes Garbodor and Rotom Frost a little more expendable as well, because as much as I do still want to get up spikes on his side, and as much as the Electric Ice Stab is nice, it's not quite as needed, so that means that I have sacks if need be, but the rest of his team's still looking very threatening. You still got Heracross and Alakazam, who are great offensive threats. You still have Talonflame, who's a great offensive threat. You got Dragalge, who takes hits well and dishes hits hard, and then you got Steelix and Aromatisse, who both just do not like to die and stay alive very well. So it's going to be a pretty tough match. So I'm going to lead Cinderace, was pretty much my plan no matter what. So we're going to just go ahead and roll with that. We lead Cinderace, and he is going to come in with... Oh man, this is really slow. This gives me plenty of time for commentary. Okay, he's going to come in with Steelix. So as much as I'm scared about taking an Earthquake here, I think getting up a Taunt is my best case scenario because me going into Rotom Frost is a pretty likely thing off of a U-turn or switch. So he does try to go for Stealth Rocks. So now we know an Earthquake's probably coming. So we go into Rotom Frost. We can kind of dodge the Earthquake here or see what he wants to do. He does Earthquake. So now at this point, we want to get off a Will-O-Wisp and see if we can burn it because Heavy Slam, Body Press, Earthquake, they all hurt my team quite a bit. So we get him burnt. Luckily, we connect on that. He's able to Body Press and do over half health, and that is pretty terrifying. Whether or not he wants to Body Press again, we just got a Blizzard and chunk this thing down. Unfortunately, that first 70% Blizzard is against us. We do miss. He's able to get rocks back up. So he would have been able to get rocks up anyway, because we're going to see based off of this damage that it does not do enough to KO him. It does about, what, 80-some%? I'm getting a little bit ahead of it. But we go ahead and click Blizzard again. He does stay in. It does about 80%. So if we'd hit both of those, basically he would have gotten rocks up, but we still would have had Frost and Powers at 49% health. And since it was heavy-duty boots, it could have pivoted around or at least been a sack to a threat later. So it's a bummer, but that's what you get for running 70% moves. Game Freak, please give Rotom Frost Freeze Dry or Ice Beam or something. So we have a pretty easy flip turn here that's either going to kill or is going to pivot if he doesn't let this go down. He does let it go down. We do take a little bit of health on Blastoise coming in on rocks, which is a bummer because we are choice specs with Water Spout, so the more HP we have, the better. But it just felt like the best play at the time. So Cinderace on his Dragalge can do a few things. We could switch out, but we don't have great switches. So we're just going to Super Fang, get this thing down to 50% health. And he comes in and hits really hard with the Draco Meteor. Thankfully, we're max HP, so we can take a hit. And with Heavy Duty Boots, we can come back in on rocks. So we go ahead and go into Garbodor. Garbodor is a little more expendable here. And if he stays in, we can start getting up some spikes. He gets off a good flip turn. Flip turn has been great for Dragalge and Melodic that he has on both. So at this point, I really have nothing that can switch into Alakazam. So I just kind of got to let it go down. That crit did not matter at all. No matter what his spread was, that Psychic always 100% of the time killed. So there would have been a cool time to have Rotom Frost. But we just got to deal with that. But I did click Fling with Garbodor just in case he tried to sub or Calm Mind. So now we see that we're faster because of Choice Scarf. And I expected Rock Blast to kill if we hit 3 times. So that shows that he has some HP and some defense even. To be able to live 3 hits from that, I expected to live. So that means he's not offensive. We are able to pick up a kill this time. Terrakion luckily lived that Psychic. He said it was a roll probably in my favor. I was pretty surprised to live that Psychic there. So I do think he was all defensive with speed. I don't think he had any investment. At this point, there's no point saving Terrakion because it can't come back in on rocks. And I have no way to remove the rocks. So instead of saving it for a sack, I'm just going to see what kind of damage I can get. And we see Heracross takes this hit really nicely. Just eats it up. And crit on that 3% Earthquake. It did not matter at all, obviously. So we can go into Cinderace here. And he really doesn't have a great Pyro Ball switch in because nothing really wants to take 2 of these. So he has to let Benjamin the Heracross go down here. Always hurts hitting yourself in the face with a Pyro Ball. So goodbye, Benjamin. You fought valiantly. At this point, I'm actually feeling pretty good. It feels like about a 50-50 who's going to win. But I'm just happy that I'm in a good spot. So it's funny that Ball says lucky crit, joking about that 3% crit. And then I get a really big crit here. And this crit absolutely mattered. Because as Cinderace goes down here to the Talonflame, this is going to allow me to come in and Dragon Dance with Hydreigon. If he were just max HP, I think because I was in Blaze, I had a chance to kill with Pyro Ball onto Dragalge anyway. But since he had some defense as well, I believe that crit just always mattered. So that's a pretty big bummer. So at this point, he's able to kill with Brave Bird. I Sucker Punch just in case he's Gale Wings. Now he's out of Gale Wings range because I want to get up to +1. If I can live a hit decently, which according to the calcs I should, I can Dragon Dance and a Crunch plus a Head Smash. Wins here if Aromatisse is especially defensive. If it's physically defensive, I think a Crunch plus a Head Smash plus a few Surfs wins. So I'm feeling pretty good about my chances. But here I find out he is not Gale Wings, he's Flame Body. So Flame Body has a 30% chance to activate. So I was pretty annoyed in the moment. Obviously, like anyone would be kind of heated at what happened here. That burn is huge because I had a great chance of doing some huge damage. But you also got to think there's a 30% chance. That's great prep on his part for having that. And then I miss a Head Smash here, which is just really, once again, just disappointing. I could have clicked Earthquake, done a little damage, but since I'm burned, it's not doing a whole lot. So I felt like Head Smash was just my best play to try to get some damage. I felt like if I could hit a Head Smash, Blastoise maybe still had a chance of winning with a few Choice Spec Surfs, but it would have been tough, especially because we do find out this is leftovers. He gets Trick Room up, so he's going to be faster, so I can't start Water Spouting because he's going to be chipping me down with some Moon Blasts. It does enough that I can take 2 of these, so if I could have 2-hit KO him, I could have won it, but we get a special attack drop, which makes it for sure we're not going to be able to do that. But with the special attack drop, I still don't think I would have won since that Head Smash missed. So basically, with the burn plus the Head Smash plus the special attack drop, all 3 happening back-to-back-to-back turns was really tough. It was hard not to want to feel a little salty here, but at the same time, I got that huge crit, and I do think that mattered a lot. Maybe not quite as much, but it did matter a lot still because that put me in an opportunity to be able to Dragon Dance in front of Talonflame, whereas I may have had a tough chance getting in on that anyway. So I can't sit here and be salty and say I lost because of hacks, right? There were some unfortunate things, and I felt like maybe if they all went my way, I would have won. But that's just part of the game. You know, I ran an 80% move. He ran a great ability in Flame Body there. That's just how it goes. At the end of the day, the better battler won, and I think we can all confidently say that Henrik is the better battler here. So congrats, Henrik. You played a great game. You've had an awesome season. I'm happy to have even beat him last week. So to have beaten him last week and then come within 1 mon of being able to beat him again feels like a really big moral victory. Anytime you can play up to your competition, and I did have to play up because, once again, he's right now he's one of the best battlers in the league, if not the best. So to be able to play up there, I am feeling pretty good about that. Hopefully I'll have some momentum going into next season because of this. Feeling like, hey, if I can play that good against him, hopefully I can play that good against anyone. But good luck with the rest of the playoffs, Henrik. You deserve every win you're getting, so keep it up, man. It's hard to pick who to root for throughout the rest of the playoffs because we got so many good battlers in the NPDL who are just awesome people. So I'm just really excited to see where it goes from here. Having a little extra free time, not having to prep for a match next week and not having to record a match next week, plus do the battle. Sometimes these battles can take up to like 40 minutes or an hour even. This one was a little bit quicker than last week's, luckily. But I do have a little bit of extra free time because of that, so I'm considering recording the rest of the playoff battles and kind of just grouping them into a weekly thing. Like, hey, here are the divisional rounds, here are the semifinal rounds, etc., with the NPDL, because I want you guys to be able to see who comes out on top, because I really do care more about than just my battles. I care about what happens with the league because we have an awesome league here. So if you've enjoyed watching those, hopefully I'll be able to upload a few more videos to show how the rest of the rounds go and to see who our eventual champion is. So I won't have any NPDL battles for a little while, not until we have our Season 8 draft, which probably won't be too far off, but, you know, we might need a little break after the rest of the playoffs. So I'll have probably at least a month, if not more, without some battles. But don't forget, I am in another league, the TPA, Taylor Pokemon Association. Currently 1-0 in that league, so come check out that, see if I can defend my championship and go for a three-peat there. Check out the other NPDL battles I'll be joining on the channel. Hopefully soon I will get to start playing Elevated Emerald again. And then after I finish Elevated Emerald, I actually have another game that I'm already ready to play after that. So hopefully playthroughs will be coming back to the channel. So anyway, if you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for stopping by, and I sincerely hope that you have a great rest of your day. Make sure to wish congrats to Henrik in the comments and wish him luck in the rest of his matches. I'm going to hop on out of here. Peace.